Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening in Israel. I'm so happy today that we're opening the Bluetech competition. This is another step in strengthening the relation between Rhode Island and Israel, and especially the community of Ashdod in Israel and Newport, Rhode Island. Before I continue, I would like to invite Mollie Williams from Innovate Newport to say a few words, and then Vahnish from Ashdod Hub, and then I'll continue with the program. So Mollie, it's yours.
Welcome, everybody. My name is Mollie Williams, and I'm the Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the Greater Newport Chamber of Commerce. I work to develop programming to support the innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem in the region by offering a lot of our programming at Innovate Newport, which is a beautiful co-working space. One of our goals is to develop partnerships with other countries. And so this is our first international competition. So we're really excited about it. Anytime it's a first, there's some glitches, and I appreciate your patience and working with us. I particularly want to say how wonderful it's been to work with Avi and Hai and Erin on this. And I want to thank the judges for their time. I know it's a huge time commitment, and we really appreciate your time and expertise. And finally, good luck to our competitors. Thank you for your interest and participating, and we're so excited to hear about your pitches.
Thank you, Mollie. Hi.
Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be here and to take part in this competition. A few months ago, Avi was here in Israel, and he spoke with me about this kind of competition. And after that, all the partners from Rhode Island came here and make this thing happen. So I'm really excited, and I must say thanks for all the partners from Rhode Island. One of the interesting things is that it's everybody volunteer for it. So although it's a competition, I hope this competition will make us to do some connection after that. And we, as a citizen in Ashdod, have one of the biggest sport here in Israel. It's part of our DNA. The sea, it's part of our DNA. So I'm really excited to do this kind of competition. I wish all the best for all the companies. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Hai. Erin, would you like to say a couple words? Erin Donovan is the Executive Director of the Newport Chamber of Commerce. Erin?
I apologize, Avi, my video was not working properly, but
no problem.
Just want to thank everybody for participating today, particularly the judges who are giving some time, but really looking forward to hearing about your innovative products and also about how eager both countries and both presenters are in entering our respective markets. So looking forward to hearing more. We are always here at the Greater Newport Chamber of Commerce to assist you if you're local or if you're looking to come into the market. So certainly excited to hear from you. And again, just thanks to Avi, Mollie, and Hai for all of the work and the effort in launching this innovative series, and look forward to hearing your pitches. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. So again, thank you to the committee, to Mollie, to Erin, and Hai. Without them, it will not have happened. I want to thank our sponsors, and that's key because for the prizes and for creating the program, we have to thank the Israeli Consul General to New England, Ambassador Miron Reuven and his team. They contributed prize money. The Greater Newport Chamber of Commerce, again, they gave us some prize money, and our organizations, the Rhode Island Israel Collaborative. And last but not least, I want to thank to El Al, the Israeli airline. They gave us 2 tickets for the winners, round trip. And the good news that March 27th, they're starting direct flights from Tel Aviv to Boston. So Rhode Island gets really closer to Israel, and Israel gets closer to Boston. And I think it's wonderful. I want to thank to our judging committee, Christian Cohen, Executive Director of 401 TechBridge, Shani Rachamim from Full Stack Engineer at Windward in Israel, Mollie McGee, Executive Director of Sanidia and the UTIC in Newport, Ran Sasson, Program Director at CLP in Israel, Jay Kogan, President of IYRS School of Technology and Technology Trade in Newport, and Ben Benny, CEO of Dancor in Israel. Thank you, judges. I know it's very important, and we appreciate it. I want to congratulate the 4 companies that will start, and we'll start in the following order. BuyRobot from Israel will be the first. They will be followed by Ocean State Sensing from Newport, and then NAIC AI Robotic from Israel, and last but not least, Current Lab from Newport, Rhode Island. Every company will have 10 minutes to present, and please try to adhere to your time. And then the judges from the other country will ask you for 5 minutes questions. As I mentioned, the judges have a form which they will fill up, and they will not disclose it today. We'll keep it to the last, to April 5th, when we'll announce, because we have another session in March 29 with 4 more companies. They will send to the committee their judgment, and then we'll tally it, and we'll announce the companies. So I would like to wish, again, the companies success, thanking again to the amazing committee, and it's a lot of work that was done, putting a web page and creating and finding people. And so let's start, and today we'll start by Robot, and I just need to give some rights. And if you're a person from BuyRobot, please start to speak, and I'll give you the right to share your screen, because I'll see you on the screen.
Hi, good afternoon. Can I share my presentation?
Just a second. And your name again?
Boris.
Boris, let me find you. I'll make you a co-host, and when you stop, when you finish, just don't share. Stop sharing your screen. Okay, it's all yours. You are co-host, and
Okay.
Good luck. And
Thank
you have 10
you.
minutes. Yeah, we see your screen.
Yeah, do you see?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, thank you. I want to take you somewhere else. Close your eyes and think you are now with family and friends at the beach. You come to enjoy the sun, the breeze, the sea. Forget about your tune and just enjoy. You are already on the beach and looking for a place to settle down, and what do you see? Broken beer bottles, scattered plastic plates and glasses, cigarettes, butts everywhere. Annoying, yeah? My name is Boris Yampolsky, CEO and founder of BuyRobot. My team and I want to present to you today an autonomous robot for cleaning beaches and parks that is suitable for all of types of surface, including the ability to filter and sort waste. The problem of coastal pollution has an impact on many areas. The environmental field, the public health field, safety, and even the socioeconomic field. This video shows technological solution that exist in the world today, which not only do, yeah.
I think we can see what you're sharing. You're only sharing the...
We don't see the video.
You don't see the video?
No.
Sorry, okay, just a moment.
Thank you, Shani.
Now,
now we see. Yes,
okay.
now.
This video shows technological solutions that exist in the world today, which not only do not solve all the problems, but also create additional problems. Tractors and manual mechanics do clean the beach, but pollute the environment with diesel and actually shave everything without filtration. Moreover, all the solutions available today do not save on labor costs In fact, today, a person must operate the machine. The solution we present is as simple as is smart and so sophisticated. By robot, fully autonomous, environmental friendly, modular, suitable for all types of surface. Beaches, sand, beaches, stones, grass, and small and large area. The robot has the ability to filter waste from the organic materials that should remain on the beach, stones, coral, and as with us in a lot, for example, and collect only waste. And also includes an options for sorting waste according to the existing requirements in the world. The table speaks for itself. I just want to note a few key points. Currently, there are no solutions in the world that provide the possible of sorting waste and modularity in accordance with different types of surface. We are talking about a market measured in billions of dollars, and moreover, an area that has a huge impact in the world economy. I will give one example to illustrate the effects. A large study was recently conducted by the US government, which measured the economic impact of beach cleaning. The simulation found this on the Ohio beaches improving cleanliness will increase tourism revenue by $250 million a year and bring in 3,700 new jobs. However, in Orange County, California, here, a decrease in the level of beach cleaners will result losses of about $500 million in the field of tourism and the loss of about 4,300 jobs. Along with large savings in example for our customers, convinces in the working hours and improvement for the environment. We will provide each customer which this product that meets requirements such as safe operations, various types of aero surface. We will prove it each customer. Modular, bioorganic economic touch, untouched. Eco-friendly autonomic robot. 14 work hours daily. A solar-proofed and intelligent sorting system. We already have a working prototype which was launched and created in the field of several months ago. We do not yet have active customers, but we have shown our ability in several municipalities and run a pilot when we are ready. Yes. So I am impressive, proud of my team, a skilled, professional, and goal-oriented team. A machine that we develop is actually a game-changing in everything related to the field of open space cleaning and a universal solution for every customer and every need. We have built an orderly and definite roadmap. When a year we plan to come out with a better product, install it for running at primary customers, and according to the degree of access, start with the go-to-market activities. With 5 years from today, we plan to reach sales over 1,000 units in a year with revenues over $40 million. This here, we will work according to the B2B and B2G models. We can both sell and offer leasing services to local authorities, beach owners and companies that provide beach and parks cleaning services. In addition to selling our machine, the robot, we will also be able to sell additional equipment as well as maintenance and insurance services. We are currently seeking an investment of $90,000 for advanced development. The investment will give us the opportunity to accelerate the work and enter the marketing according to plan. It's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for adhering to the time. And the U.S. judges, could you please ask the question to Boris? And please de-co-host yourself.
I can start if that's okay, Avi. This is Christian Cowan.
Yeah.
So Boris, can I ask, you talked about a direct and indirect sales model. Is there, I'm not sure who your end customer would be, whether it's governments or private beaches or how that would work. Do you know who your end customer would be? Who would purchase this? I would imagine it's different depending on geography as well.
It's first of all, it's areas by municipalities, beaches around of the world. First of all, it's most more over the beaches for municipalities. Also, it's private beaches, private areas. And our robot, can work about it, also parks. The parks, it's municipality. So of course, first of all, our customers, the municipalities, and the second B2G, like I say, and B2B, it's private beaches, private areas around the world.
Okay. And can I, one more question from me. You had talked, it looked like you had a total addressable market numbers in there, but you also talked about tourism losses. You had $470 million worth of tourism losses on one of the slides. What's the source of that data? You had tourism losses and job losses. Is there a source of that study? You had mentioned a U.S. study, but what's the...
It's a U.S. In 3 years ago, U.S. was research on it's U.S. government research was 3 years ago.
Okay.
It's through the numbers from their research.
Okay, thanks.
Boris, this is Mollie McGee. Quick question, and thank you for your presentation. You talked about your investment funding and what you need. Could you give me some more insight as to how your plan is to go after it? It appears that you really haven't gotten any funding as of yet. Is that true? And what's your near to midterm plan to solicit that funding?
Again, sorry. Again,
she asked about the funding, whether you received funding, and what's your plan to receive future fundings. Is that correct, Mollie?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you, Avi.
Okay. First of all, I am the founder myself alone. We have a prototype. working prototype robots, and our plan to finish the development and of course for 1 year from today we want to go out with beta models. Now it's all of my money. From today, my teamwork is my money. Of course, we're looking for investors.
Thank you.
To continue the develop.
This is Jay Coogan. I have some questions about the way the machine operates itself. How does it avoid going into the water? How does it deal with seaweed that builds up on a beach? Does it remove that? Or it talked about leaving the bio parts and taking away the other man-made refuse, it sounded like. Could you just explain that?
The robot work only on the beach. It's not used on the water. So the cameras see the water. With camera, we can see the water, and this water is coming. It's smart video system for the robot. It's not used for water solution. Only beach solution and so park solutions. It's to come all waste to robot, and the scan sorting system inside in the robot to save the shells or some let come back to the beach, and the waste comes to take in the robot inside.
Thank you. I think we passed the time, and Boris, thank you for the presentation. And we will move to the next company. It's Ocean State Sensing. Tony, could you start to speak so I see you? And
Yes,
I'm giving you the co-host right. You are a co-host now. Share your screen, please.
Yes, sir.
And you have 10 minutes.
Well, thank you. As I get this up, I just want to thank Avi and Mollie for them giving us the ability to be part of this. Being part of the Rhode Island Israel collaborative is a real honor, and we thank you very much. So what I would like everyone to do is to think of the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the phrase ocean temperatures. So the most common visual representation of ocean temperatures are known as sea surface temperature charts, like these, which are probably similar to what you thought of.
We don't see your screen, so I don't know if you shared your screen, but you have
Okay.
You have the rights to share your screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
See it now?
Yes. Now we
Okay.
see it.
Okay. So these are the most common visual representations known as sea surface temperature charts, which is probably similar to what you thought of. The problem with these is that just like putting your hand on someone's forehead when they have a fever, it can tell you the symptoms, but it can't really tell you what's going on internally. We look beyond the surface to make sense of the ocean. I'm Anton Nielsen, I go by Tony, and I'm the co-founder and CEO, and I'm pleased to introduce you to Ocean State Sensing. Our mission is, our company is an engineering and consulting company concentrating on underwater thermal sensing and mapping. We do ocean engineering and project management, and we specialize in situ sensing, instrumentation, and integration. Our mission is to endeavor to provide highly reliable services in the aquatic environment to improve the in situ understanding of the ecosystem so that we can enable greater stewardship across the hydrosphere. So here's a sneak peek at some of the data sets that we recently collected with our sensors, starting on the beach and extending into the water over several days. This shows the expression of the tide on the beach. As you can see, it provides a continuous, linear, and high-resolution data set, which is far superior to the point-based measurements of most temperature systems in employment today. We are focused on 3 major market areas. The first, aquaculture, is a $2.7 billion industry in the US alone and brings in $9 billion worldwide. With an expected compound annual growth rate of 4.4%, the industry should be growing to over $12 billion by 2027. The domestic fisheries industry brings in $11 billion, and the potential US customers for ocean state sensing are the 57,000 individual companies in the US, including the multitude of fishing companies throughout the world. By targeting a reduction in bycatch, we can save these companies a significant amount while also improving the health of the ocean, which will make the fisheries even more productive. The temperature monitoring market has the analysis of $4.5 billion with a growth rate of 3.9% in 2019. We believe that this is significantly bolstered by the focus that has been placed on understanding the processes that affect the planet, and think that this growth rate will actually be even higher. So for the aquaculture industry, we are able to conduct environmental site surveys to ensure habitats are placed in or maintained at the appropriate temperatures for the intended species. Our instrumented pins will enable managers to monitor every area of their growth habitat with pinpoint accuracy and achieve maximum growth by monitoring and regulating temperatures, time feedings for less wasted meal, minimize die-off due to temperature fluctuations and undiagnosed disease. These pins will also immediately detect breaches and breaks of the growth habitat. Tank aquaculturalists can reduce heating and cooling costs by only conditioning the areas that require attention. The services that we provide for fisheries management allow for multidimensional bottom to surface temperature profiles so that we know the temperature of the water in the fishery before the first boat in the fleet even starts its engines. This will reduce wasted trips when warm eddies slip in under the surface and shut down the activity of the fishery. We can minimize bycatch with temperature targeted fishing by knowing when and where to set gear based on evidence. This will reduce wasted time, money, and carbon emissions while enhancing the health of the fishery. To target the temperature monitoring industry, we at Ocean State Sensing will focus on water employment and the impact that it can have on oceanographic monitoring. We make it possible to monitor sea temperatures from seabed to surface to determine the true status of global health and ocean currents. This will allow scientists to establish baseline temperatures and monitor long into the future with sustainable data gathering efforts from static or moving platforms. The three-dimensional characterization of currents, coral bleaching events, and the glacial and ice cap melting and mixing will be greatly our understanding will be greatly enhanced by our services, which will enable enhanced modeling and forecasting. At OSS, we provide many engineering solutions. We are able to sensorize any cable to measure temperature every 25 centimeters, which is about 10 inches, to an accuracy of 0.1 degree. We can do this for up to 10 kilometers. So, as an example, if the system that is set to record the temperature every 2 minutes for a 10-kilometer sensor you will receive 4.4 million readings per day. We are also excited to provide expert project management. Our maritime experts will plan, execute, and validate projects and programs in accordance with the Project Management Institute's principles, which all of our employees are trained on. And because we're passionate about the environment and are ever-developing engineers, we have a continuous research and development program that is currently developing oil spill and contaminated aquifer remediation systems, a maritime winch system for automated deployment, passive acoustic monitoring for marine mammal mitigation techniques, and a novel tension system, novel tension sensing system. So this is just a little bit about myself and my partner, Brian. He and I are both very passionate about the preservation of the environment. And that's really what we got into this for. As naval professionals and men who have spent our entire lives on the sea, we are dedicated to the overall health of the ocean and every creature that depends on it. We seek to bring emerging technologies to the forefront of ocean stewardship, and we are both equally comfortable in a lab coat or in work boots. So going forward, we are working on collaborations with IntelliReefs and Red Rose Developments for temperature monitoring and aquaculture site selection projects. We are applying for local and regional grants for ocean-focused and disabled veteran-owned startups. And we have a continuing project and research in the Narragansett Bay, which will be available soon on our website. Our near goal is to raise $250,000 in seed contracts and grants to bring on additional full-time engineers and scientists.
Thank you,
So,
Tony.
Well, thank you very much. We look forward to collaborating with the Rhode Island Collaborative. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Tony. And now the Israeli judges, please ask the question. Shani, Ran, and Ben. And Tony, if you can stop sharing your screen. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have a question. I'm working at Windward. I don't know if you heard about it. We display data about the sea, and we aim to give the data to whoever needs it. And we have a model of a map inside our system. You can search for a vessel, and you can see things like the weather in the day and activities people did, vessels did over the sea. And I was wondering if in the future it will be possible to use your system as an API and integrate it into other systems that are doing things inside the business.
I believe so. I think that our long-term goal, I'll speak for Brian and I, that our long-term goal is to provide, this kind of data as, a service for scientists. We want to be able to provide the data that we collect to the scientific community as a whole. So those kind of partnerships are exactly what we're looking for. So something, if we can put a system on the back of every container ship going back and forth across the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean, we can really figure out what's going on beneath the surface. Because right now we just have that very minimal look at what the temperatures are doing.
Sounds to me that you have a business proposal here, but that's
definitely
part of what we want to achieve from the program is collaboration. So, okay, thank you, Shani. Ran and Benny, do you have any questions?
My first question is kind of business one. You aiming three models, kind of three markets, well, quite differentiated. So where are you going to start? What's more interesting for you?
Yes, sir. So we see many similarities in the markets because we can apply our technology to all those markets in different ways. we are currently working with some fisheries up here in the Narragansett Bay area. We're working on some fishermen to perfect our temperature targeted fishing model. And we're also doing oceanographic and environmental monitoring in our area. So those are the two things that we have a foothold in now and that we are looking to exploit immediately. But we don't want to limit, as we said, we're passionate about the environment, and Brian's one of those big brains that thinks about all kinds of cool stuff now all the time. So we don't want to, we really want to make sure that we're exploiting everything that we can to help the environment.
Okay. What comes in my mind is that Israel has a lot of closed tanks, offshore fisheries that could collaborate with this project, I believe. So yeah.
Yes, sir. I saw that, I know that Israel has one of the world's largest aquaculture development stuff for aquarium tank fish, particularly. And those aquarium tank fish are very susceptible to fluctuations in temperature. So that's something that we really would like to target.
So the next question is the last one. You spoke about 2 minutes gaps, because for people that don't understand this realm, the temperature issues and other sensing issues in closed tanks is very sensitive in time frames, which means that if you didn't call it on time, the whole tank will go lost for a few days. So question is, how fast is the sensing and the monitoring and the alerting actually?
That's a great question. So we have almost zero lag, right? So we can tell that the temperature is 10 kilometers away, and every 25 centimeters between here and that 10 kilometers at the moment that it's happening. The reason we use 2 minutes is, so that if the data recorder records it every 2 minutes, that gives us 14.4 million data points. But it can alarm immediately. So when you have something that's out of spec, it's a little high or a little low, whether you're measuring the effluent of someone's output at a factory, or if you're monitoring the temperature in your tank, you can know immediately by allowing us to sensorize your system.
Thank you. To maintain time, Ben, do you have another question that you would like to ask quickly?
Yes, please. Just a quick one. First of all, thank you, Tony. I could not understand if the technology is developed by yourselves or you are taking the product out of the shelf and integrate it throughout your company.
So it's a little bit of both. We have a technology partner, and we are developing ways to employ it in the ocean and in ruggedizing the equipment so that it is operational in environments that it isn't normally. Right now, to protect ourselves and our technology partners, we'd be more than happy to share more information when we can sign a non-disclosure agreement.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony, and thank you for the Israeli judges. And now we're going to move to the next company, and it's Make AI Robotics. I would like to, who is going to speak for the company?
Here, Aviv.
Aviv, let me find you on my screen so we can make you go host. Why I have a hard time seeing you. Speaking, oh, okay, I see you now. Yeah. Let me make you a co-host. Yes.
Great.
You're a co-host. Please share your screen.
Fantastic. Okay.
Yeah, we see you, and you have 10 minutes.
All right, starting now. So hello, everyone, and thank you for this great opportunity to be here and present to you what we do at Nakai. So a quick correction, it's not Nak AI, it's actually Nakai. Nakai in Hebrew is the cleaning fish, like the remora fish that you see on this whale shark. And basically, we're taking the nature and implement it on the cargo shipping industry. What we do is we develop an autonomous system for a proactive hull conditioning and inspection. And this is what I will elaborate further on. As you can imagine, most of you, if not all of you, are seafarers. You are familiar with the issue of biofouling and the resistance caused by those algae. And this is actually what we wipe out from the vessel. I will explain as much as I can during the 10 minutes, and hopefully we will have some time for questions later on. Quickly about ourselves, we met in 2016. My partner and CTO is behind us producing the robot actually with the team. He has a lot of experience from Israeli technology units. Myself, I was a sales manager in my last position, working specifically in Asia Pacific and Oceania. And we have a lot of experience with robotic systems and hardware integrations. And this is also the key team members that we chose. As a teaser, and I will elaborate later on, we already got some investments. And this allowed us to recruit the team, to purchase the needed hardware and to start with the sea trials. I will elaborate quickly. Daryl is our system expert working with us for more than 2 years. He's from the UK, he's currently working half-time in Babcock, and very soon he's going to switch to full position with us. As you can see, more than 25 years of experience with marine robotics, working on submarines, on various types of solutions and use cases. Also, Omer Spalter, who was recently managing a team of more than 30 developers. He designed our UI and the whole code behind the system. And another Omer, which is an electrical engineer. Additionally, we have some advisors. You can see here, I will just mention Mark Riggio. He's based in New York, and he's one of our great consultants. So we are looking forward to expand our collaboration with the US. We are actually looking at the US as our potential HQ in the near future. As you can imagine, we need to be present at the major ports around the world. And this is one of the reasons why I'm here, actually. So just to start with our traction, as for now, and then I will continue about the problem and our solution. So first of all, we are starting a POC with the Ashdod port, which is the largest one in Israel, in cooperation with the 500 Global VC. We were selected to participate in this program, and we are looking forward to it, to work in the largest port in Israel. Additionally, we are working with the Israeli shipyards. We already finalized the beta site agreement. We are going to test our robotic system on their vessels, on the dry dock, at the port, at the platform, and later on underway. Perhaps I forgot to mention some uniqueness of the product, but I will provide it later on. Additionally, we have other fleets in Israel, and also Navigate, which is a huge player in this domain. So we received the term sheet last 2 weeks for $800,000 of investment. In the last 2 weeks, we got additional $200K from angel investors. That brings us to a total of $400,000 US that we recruited until today, money in the bank. And we are looking to finish this round very, very soon, actually within the next week, if all goes well. We are expanding. We are situated in Holon, which is very close to Tel Aviv and close to the sea, but a bit cheaper. As you can see behind me, it's a whole of, it's like a workshop area. We are also working with the Israeli MOD, with the Israeli Navy. We just finished a meeting with the Israeli Innovation Authority. So we are trying to collaborate with all the great minds and power around us. Additionally, the robot is underway during production, and we are looking forward to start testing within the next few weeks. So to elaborate a bit about the problem, so to have some time left. So as you can imagine, the resistance caused by biofouling is immense. I think this problem is well known, but recently IMO and other and additional sources in the industry are highlighting the actual fact that biofouling or slime or conditioning layer, which are the first microbiologist creatures that attach themselves to the hull, are actually introduced within few minutes. When you throw a new body of to the water, to the ocean sea, to the sea water, then very fast it creates the slime layer. And this slime layer, after just a few days, creates additional drag of more than 10% to these vessels. So you can imagine this translates to more than $100 billion a year loss just by dirty hulls traveling around the world, and also polluting the ocean, polluting our air. You can see that there is a lot of regulation coming into effect, and also came, which is very much helping us. We see potential customers that already starting to get fined. Please mute if you are not talking.
If someone have a microphone open, please mute it. Thank you.
All right, I will continue. I'm used to a background noise. So also we are preventing water pollutions. I think that
if someone, just a second. If someone, please mute yourself if you're not the speaker.
I think it's from you.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. All right, just as a last problem.
Sorry about it.
Yeah. The clock is running, so you know the spread of invasive species, which is something very dramatic that we actually eliminate. And invasive species are transferred by dirty hulls and not as usually thought by ballast water. And this is something that we prevent. Just moving to the slide. So I will go fast on that one. As you know, there is a lot of anti-fouling solutions. I will not elaborate on their disadvantages. Basically, they pollute the ocean. They will not last for 5 years. They are degrading layers over there. There's a lot of issues, and there is no biofouling or anti-fouling paint or coating, which is actually preventing all types of biofouling. They are trying to prevent the barnacles and other species. So we are actually enhancing the solution offering of these anti-fouling companies, and we provide inspection capability to the actual state of the taint. We are also postponing the need for hull inspection and the time which the vessel spends off hire. As you can imagine, it's a lot of money. And by inspecting the vessel and providing insights on the state of the hull, we can actually eliminate that. And we are replacing the common traditional cleaning methods at the port by robotics and by divers, which has a lot of downsides. Basically, when you show to a seafarer this graph, the SAW graph, they immediately understand, because you see the intervals between cleaning of the hulls. And as you can see, the line drop, the graph drops, meaning the speed loss is enhanced and the fuel consumption is enhanced. So basically, we are providing an optimal conditioning line, eliminating the need for occasional or periodic cleaning, just preserving an optimal hydrodynamic state of the hull. And how we do it? So we've gone through a lot of process of testing and various types of prototypes in the last 2.5 years. We're working on this project. The first solution that we are going to release very soon within this year, considering the money we got already, is going to be the conditioning module. The conditioning is going to proactively clean the hull using UV illumination, and also the dual brush that you can see here on the black color. There is the skin of the robot, which you cannot see because this is our secret sauce. Basically, the robot attaches itself to the hull using various type of hydrodynamic powers, including magnets that you can see in the picture, but magnets are irrelevant above 6 knots. We also used in the past some propellers and different adhesion methods, and we are actually proving this solution now on moving vessels. This is where we are at the moment. In terms of inspection, that's going to be the next phase of our solution. It's going to be correlated with insurance companies. We are going to provide our customers with the option to do an on-demand inspection, to take the robot while the vessel is sailing and going to inspect a specific area. Additionally, we are providing and generating full hull assessment reports, integrity reports, as they are mentioned, completely replacing the very non-professional way of how it's done today by diver, just going to 0.5% of the vessel and providing a report based on that, which is not sufficient and not professional. We are going to provide 100% coverage of the hull. And later on, we are going to alert and actually prevent pollutions from vessel hulls. I don't have time to elaborate on that, so I will just continue. How it's done. So,
you have 30 seconds.
All right, I will do it quickly. In terms of the market, we are targeting 80,000 plus vessels, which are the larger ones, oil tankers, bulk carriers. Why we do it? Especially because they are most vulnerable to biofouling. They sail much slower. Their loading and offloading time takes more time. So we are targeting them. It's a huge market. In terms of our solution pricing, it's much lower than the average market price from competing solutions. We are taking it on a hardware as a service, robot as a service module, which is much easier for our customers. Benefits, I think it's clear, so I will not elaborate. In terms of competition, we are the only one that are doing a truly fully autonomous robot that doesn't require anyone on board. we are actually cleaning in transit in all conditions, providing on-demand hull assessment and additional capabilities like a fully modular robot that we can enhance with new capabilities in the near future, as well as the fact that we are working without any cable.
Thank you, Aviv. If you can stop your presentation, and the American Jazzers from Newport, please ask questions.
This is Mollie McGee. A quick question, and thank you, Avi, for your presentation. I noticed that your main market is the cargo ship market, but I do notice that some of your folks working on this have defense experience. Are you looking at defense being a potential market too?
Absolutely, yes. To give you the honest answer, in the last 7+ years, I've been working in the offensive cyber market, and previously I'm from a Green Berets equivalent unit in the Israeli IDF. So also my partner very much familiar with the defense sector. We are working with the Israeli MOD and with the Israeli Navy. They are paying for a POC that is going to actually, showcase this capability on a vessel of the Navy. Various use cases, just as a teaser. If a Navy vessel is dirty from biofouling, which happens after just a few days, as you can imagine, it cannot dodge a torpedo. This is the actual effect if you take it to the extreme. If you take it to operational and other types of use cases, you can, at least in Israel, we don't send divers to the sea to inspect, to see that, I don't know, the propeller or the sea chest or something is not working properly. So the robot that we develop is actually the solution for them. So for your question, absolutely yes.
One quick follow-up that you mentioned, it was interesting with your cyber connection. Are you building cyber into the product, cyber resilience?
Absolutely. This is our core experience to protect it also from, a physical kind of intrusion. Considering the fact that no one on board should touch it, we are providing these services ourselves and it's fully autonomous, but we are very familiar with remote cyber hijacks. We actually did it 2 years ago, and we've hijacked a vessel in Israel. We did not make it collide, but it's possible, and we are going to protect our solution. We are working closely with Sidom, an Israeli company. So yeah, this is our bread and butter, and we are not going to elaborate more.
Thank you, Aviv. Thank you. Christian and Jay, do you have a question?
I do. First of all, Aviv, a very impressive presentation. Thank you very much. We have a global commercial shipping company here in Rhode Island that we work very closely with called Moran Shipping. And I would love to make an introduction, and they do a lot of investment and they're very forward-looking in terms of technology. So hopefully you and I can follow up on that. Is there, I think what you said was the attachment to the hull is the intellectual property. And there must be some drag, some impact as it's attached to the hull, because I think you said it cleans while it's moving. Is that right? What's the, did I hear you the right way? What's the analysis there in terms of attaching the hull as the ship is moving?
Great. I will try to simplify it. This is based on various tests we did along the years, and also looking at failures of other people, to be honest. So yeah, the robot is cleaning while the vessel is underway. As you know, vessels nearly don't stop. They don't want to stop. Idle time is very expensive. And also regulation prevents from cleaning at the port. If you clean at the port, you need to collect the biofouling and the coat you release. So we are cleaning while the vessel is underway in operational speeds, utilizing both the brushes, very unique brushing system, controlled RPM, a very specific material that you use, an off-the-shelf brush, by the way, and also using UV illumination to enhance this cleaning capability. And we don't have the time limitation, so we can go over a few spaces overlapping. So in terms of overall cleaning results, we need to prove it, but we should be much, much better as opposed to all other port-based solutions, which are, constricted by time. They are working very, very aggressively.
Thank you, Aviv. Jay, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to hear a little bit more about your funding and your timeline, which you really didn't get to, in terms of how many of these you hope to deploy and when, and for whom.
All right. So the funding we got until today, $400,000 from angels, and the $800,000 that we are securing in the next few days from an early stage VC, a great one from Israel, which is investing in robotics and hardware. That would take us within 2022 to an MVP. Using this MVP, we are going to do, trials, and we are going to start actually proposing the system for first sales for early birds. And we are looking at mid-2023, by the end of 2023, to start generating the first few dozens of customers, producing in-house at first, at least the first 100 units, and then expanding to mass production. But yeah, looking at the cycles of our industry, we are looking forward, and based on availability of the actual product, to start sell it by the end of 2022, and to produce the operational systems during 2023. And I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Aviv. And
can I just have one more question, if you don't mind?
Quickly.
The biofouling material that you remove, how are you collecting that? How does that happen as a ship is moving?
Yeah, it's a great question. And actually, we avoid the need to collect the biofouling because we work in fully coordinated way with the regulation. If you are cleaning at the port, you need to collect biofouling. It depends geographically where, but all of the states are going that direction. If you are working and cleaning in deep sea, in the way that seafarers call it, let it go, then the ecological impact is zero, is non-existent, and this is where the regulation takes us. So we are cleaning at deep sea, we don't need to collect the biofouling.
Thank you, Aviv. And in respecting time, we move to the next company. It's a current lab from Newport, and Kevin, you have the rights to share the screen.
Okay, thank you. That's a hard one to follow up. That was really cool presentation. So can you see my screen all right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. So yeah, I'm Kevin Rosa, the founder of Current Lab, a computational oceanography startup specializing in ocean forecasting. So the mission of Current Lab is really to deliver situational awareness when you're working at sea. So our ocean forecast models can improve efficiency, effectiveness, and safety of ocean operations. Briefly, my background. So my PhD research focused on building these sorts of supercomputer models of coastal circulation. And I got to work with some amazingly accurate ocean models and saw that no one was considering the commercial applications of this technology, really. So after grad school, I worked on naval submarine research and saw that even the US Navy was really lacking in this kind of technology. And around that time, I was contacted by some professional sailing teams who needed good tidal current forecasting. And so all these experiences just really led me to this initial hypothesis that there's a demand for better ocean forecasting. And what I've kind of learned is that that seems to be true. So whether you're trying to monitor the sea with underwater vehicles, building at sea, responding to crises, if you don't know what the currents and the underwater acoustics are going to be doing, you're operating blind, and the results can be really disastrous. So ocean data is, as critical as it's ever been, yet it seems that the end user's needs are not being met. Just briefly, I don't know if anyone's tried to work with ocean forecasting data, but it feels very Web 1.0. So we're used to using weather apps and websites, and there's even TV channels dedicated to weather, but trying to use ocean data is a mess for users, and so much of what we need is just missing in the current, so many regions of the world are missing. So our solution is building the most detailed ocean forecasting platform. So wherever you are in the world, you can find out what the ocean conditions are around and under you right now and in the near future for the next few days. So this is a physics model. So you have a completely gap-free 3D virtual ocean, but it's validated by real-world measurements. And what you're seeing right here is our MVP for the mouth of Narragansett Bay for Newport, Rhode Island. So we're showing the surface currents, and I was able to click forward in time and and just pan around, and so that's what it kind of looks like. So kind of a basic picture of how it works is that we're creating a quilt by stitching together dozens of different smaller regional models, because it's not computationally possible to model the entire global ocean at high resolution. And really, one of the things that puts us, gives us a real edge is that I'm able to build in custom models for regions that are not covered. So we are an all source kind of data collection of whatever is available from NOAA, from European agencies, from universities. And then when data is either of poor quality or missing, we can build in custom regions and then use our own computational power. And this is blended together, and we can either, distribute the raw data. And so this is showing one of the files that a customer uses, which is compatible with their onboard GPS on their boat, or you can access it through our app, which is meant to be very quick and intuitive and works well in low bandwidth situations. And so here's a look at the regions that are covered right now on the kind of demo. And the goal is to cover all of the world's coastal regions in very high resolution. I think our main technological advantages are basically threefold. So one is that we are very much user first kind of approach. So rather than siloing the data and how it normally is, where it's like one group, NOAA makes a few models, the Navy makes some models, Mercator Ocean in Europe makes some models. We pull together every open source forecast that's available, and we blend them together when in a kind of physically consistent manner. And then, as I mentioned, we do in-house modeling, and this has really been the main source of revenue so far, is doing this custom modeling for clients. And then we've built this data visualization platform where we can build in client-specific features. Okay, so to give you an idea of kind of what these features might look like, here's an idea of a case study is optimizing the route of unmanned underwater vehicles, or UUVs. So there is some routing systems available, but they're always for ships crossing the ocean. Nothing is really considering the coastal domain or the undersea domain. But with things like monitoring cables, with offshore wind, with all sorts of marine construction, UUVs are becoming more important. And so here's an example that we did in Rhode Island, where if you want to go measure this wind farm off the coast, using our route optimization, you can depart at the optimal time and use 42% less battery drain on your submersible, which is really important because these things have less than 24 hours of battery. So if you don't know what the currents are, you can depart at the wrong time and just waste a ton of energy flowing up against the stream. And the second thing I'll mention is for undersea defense. So I know a big problem is the growing threat of unmanned vehicles in defense in the navies, because these are much harder to detect. And so you're going to need hyper detailed understanding of the underwater sound speed. And so that basically is, sound travels in different ways depending on what the sound speed gradient is, and that will vary with temperature. So this is another service that we can provide. So yeah, I mentioned route optimization also works for anything in the coastal zone, tugboats, sailboats. This has been a really overlooked kind of aspect in route optimization. The underwater acoustics, in addition to kind of this anti-submarine warfare, there's also mammal detection is pretty important. And finally, there's a lot of value in environmental assessment of aquaculture and suspended sediment and dredging, et cetera. I think in particular with an Israeli collaboration, I focused in on the marine construction and dredging, the aquaculture. So when you have, for example, these big tilapia farms, you want to understand the water flow so that you can make sure that you're getting clean water and tracking pollutant dispersal. And then for the undersea defense. And in particular, I think I'm kind of excited to debut this new region that I just added, went live this morning, where you can see the current lab model of the Arabian Gulf. And so this is just showing currents, but this can be a full 3D virtual ocean with undersea, oh, we're having a little bit of clipping. Well, it just went live this morning, so there's maybe a little bit of bugs right now, but this, you can pick a point and you can go forward in time and see how the currents are going to be changing, how the sound speeds will change. And that's just an idea of what it looks like. So in my remaining minute, yeah, so just reviewing, here's the potential markets. We've already had some traction in the sailing market. So we did the America's Cup and the Tokyo Olympics for the US sailing team. And right now the focus is on getting customers in particularly in marine construction or defense industry. So we've remained bootstrapped and have some revenue. And that's mainly my goal here today, is to find new potential collaborations and new use cases. Here's a look at the small team in our kind of first year. I'm actively growing the team right now and trying to get some help on the business end and on the defense applications end, and just close with a bit of a roadmap. So we're here in stage 2. I've moved on from the consulting kind of business, and now we've developed the initial MVP, have some customers in the sailing market, and are now looking for that next contract in probably marine construction or defense, so we can build out some new features. And I see a lot of potential for growth in the future to reach a lot more customers and a lot more industries as we improve the technology and the scope. So yeah, I think I just barely kept it under 10 minutes. So thanks, and I can take questions.
Thank you, Kevin, on your wonderful presentation. If you don't mind, stop sharing your screen. And the Israeli judges, Shani and Ran and Ben, please ask the questions.
Hey, thank you, Kevin. Me as the CEO of the largest maritime and offshore services company in Israel, I do understand the need for tugboats and dredging, but my question is, do you have paying customers from this industry? This is my first question. And my second thing that I want to ask you is, are you willing to collaborate with some new, with some other startups or data partners in order to, how to say it, to increase the value proposition of your product? Yeah.
So so far, no paying customers in tugboats or shipping. Our paid customers have been almost entirely focused in the sailing market. But so that's kind of, right now, I would say I'm more kind of scoping out what the specific needs are and how I can serve that industry, because people don't just want raw data, they want some kind of value added, piece on this. So in terms of collaborating with other startups to kind of build those value added pieces, absolutely. So I've identified one revenue model is a licensing model. So for example, there's a startup, Savvy Navi, that does, kind of coastal sailing navigation. And so I could either license the data to someone like that, or could work with, yeah, I think there's a lot of possibilities to work with other companies, but I'm definitely interested.
Okay, so let's follow up on that after this competition, because I have some ideas here in Israel who to contact with it.
Great.
Thanks, Ben.
Shani and Ben, do you have any question?
I give the precedence to Shani and Ben this time.
Sorry. Go ahead, Ben.
So Kevin, great presentation. I was wondering about two things that you already showed in your presentation. One is the business persona in the startup, which is definitely needed because you have a very good value proposition, and the use case. The other, also Ben touched this thing, but since you mentioned cyber security, sorry, then it looks like very promising in a nutshell. So I think that you should, again, also with Ben and myself and through Avi, you have a lot of well, maybe not a lot of, but you have several options in Israel to work with, especially with the security issues. And there are also the technical issues. Spoken about a lot of computer power, and there are platforms that can handle this. So my 2 cents are: one, connect through Avi or others or Chai to the Israeli ecosystem regarding the security thing, and also regarding a data platform that can handle your infrastructure. And that was one. And the other one is business persona. Is the right time to get a business person into the team that you can already cash out for already what you have, and maybe even a design partner of some kind, governmental, non-governmental, that could play with you. That will be the next level, I think.
Thank you, Ben. Shani,
Thank you.
any question?
Yeah, I'd agree with Ran, and I want to give a thumbs up for the client. I really liked it, and I hope it will be useful.
Thanks.
Okay. So thank you. So Kevin, if you don't mind to stop sharing your screen. I'll change the view here. So again, I really would like to thank the presenter. And one thing we could see, one of the benefits of what we're doing in the competition is to create those connections. And I think it came very, very clear through this program. There's multiple venues to connect. As by the way, there is the Israeli Bird Fund, which came to mind when I was thinking. It's a government of Israel and the United States for companies to collaborate. It's up to $1 million. So I want to thank to our presenters. I think they deserve applause from all of us. I want to thank our judges for their good question, and they will fill the forms and evaluation later. Thank you to obviously the committee for working so hard, and to our sponsors again, the Israeli Consulate, the Chamber of Commerce, and El Al. And I want to mention that our next program will be with 4 more companies, 2 from Rhode Island and 2 from Israel, March 29. One comment, it's noon in Rhode Island, but in Israel it will be 7. Israel is changing the time zone by then, and so we'll have an hour shift, and thank you to the person that brought it to my attention. We'll send the invitation and email. So until the next time, I would like again to thank everyone for their great presentation, for trying to be on time. Thank you, and I hope to see you all soon in the very near future, March 29. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Avi.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mollie.
Thank you.